Hello and welcome once more to the business programme here on Kirklees Local TV. It's that time of year already when the dark nights are drawing in, the central heating has kicked back into life, the leaves on the trees are dramatically changing from green to hues of red and yellow, and of course Strictly Come Dancing is back as compulsory Saturday night viewing in so many British households. That set us thinking here on Kirklees Local TV as to what did we know about the business aspects of dancing, particularly in the context of ballroom and Latin. Well, to help answer these questions is today's guest, Anne Glee of Glee's Dance Studios based in Shelley. Anne, thank you for joining us today.
Oh, you're welcome.
And can I start by asking you to tell us about your business, what it offers and how it operates?
I can. It's a very small one-man band. We are a limited company, but I am the sole owner and sole dog's body within it. Yep. We offer specialised ballroom and Latin dancing lessons, tuition to both adults and children, mainly concentrating on social dancing. And we have small premises in Shelley currently where we operate from. That's kind of what we do. And more or less all we do, apart from social dancing and some party nights, theme nights, that kind of thing. Sometimes do salsa. We also do some fit steps as well, which is an amazing way of keeping fit, designed by Natalie Lowe and Ian Waite from Strictly Come Dancing. And we are carrying the bandwagon for them and getting people fit in Huddersfield.
Excellent, excellent. Is that, what sort of age groups?
We do kids from the age of 3 up to adults the age of however old they are. I think we've actually got an oldest fit stepper at the moment, I think is something like 75.
I was hoping for me yet then.
Yeah. Our oldest ballroom dancers are probably in their 80s and still going strong.
Really?
Yeah. You can do it at all ages, it's great.
Okay, so what's your own dance background and expertise, and can I ask what inspired you to set up your business?
Yeah, you can. I was kind of a hobby dancer for a very long time. I danced as a child, then came away from it. I emigrated to Australia in 1988, and I was going to get married to my husband at the time, was an Australian. And when I arrived in Australia, we realised very quickly, or I realised very quickly, that ballroom dancing back then amongst the youngish people was really, really popular. It was almost like going back in time to sort of 20 years previous. You'd never see that in England, but Australia then was a different place entirely, and everybody went ballroom dancing as singles, not as couples as they do here. So I got dragged into ballroom dancing kind of with him, and thoroughly enjoyed it. We ended up being taught by the Gilkison family. Jason Gilkison is currently the choreographer on Strictly Come Dancing.
Really?
And his mum taught me my wedding dance to my first husband, Stan. So the lovely, lovely family. And that kind of got me really going into the social aspect of ballroom dancing, but I always wanted to take it further. And then, unfortunately, the marriage kind of faltered and failed, and I came back home. In the meantime, my mother's marriage had also faltered and failed, and she'd remarried a very lovely man called Reg Husdell, who is still a local dance teacher, even though he's 80 now. And so she'd remarried a dancer, a dance teacher. So he became my first professional coach. And he was the person who started me on the road to doing competition dancing. So from then I managed to find partners. We did more and more dancing with different coaches. We went to competitions, and I finally ended up being ranked at number 7 in the UK as a senior dancer, over 35, very, very old. But that was great fun, that was great times, and so I had got thoroughly bitten by the bug of ballroom dancing, and it is a thing. The ballroom dancing bug is a thing. You can get bitten by it badly. And so my interest and love of it never waned. So even though I'm not dancing competitively anymore, I love teaching it. I love watching people begin to love it as much as I love it. And to see them blossom and shine and start smiling and being confident on a dance floor is something that I completely adore. I love watching people have fun.
That's evident. And so it was a pastime that became a hobby.
Pastime became a hobby that became a competitive hobby, very expensive competitive hobby, that has now become a professional way of life. So, yeah.
Excellent. So it's a small business, and we all know that running a small business is both highly rewarding emotionally, but it's also terrifying at times, isn't it? Have there been any particular highs and lows that you've experienced and learnt a lot from?
Well, always. I mean, I've never been self-employed before starting Glee's Dance Studios, and I really didn't know what I was letting myself in for. I just thought this is going to be easy. We started in church halls, like little local village halls, that kind of thing, and it grew. I had to find premises, knew really nothing much about anything. Still don't, actually. I'm not a business-minded person, I have to say. It's a kind of a wing and a prayer what I do. I hope that I'm getting it right most of the time, and obviously I have professional advice from accountants, etc. when I need it. The lows tend to be during the summertime when it's quiet, because we're usually very busy between October and around about May-ish. Strictly season, we call it.
Yep.
And we are quite buoyant and very vibrant as a place to be at that point. And then the summer hits, and our clientele tend to be a little bit older, and they end up being roped into grandchild sitting duties over the summertime, or they're on holiday themselves. And so our business does tend to slacken muchly through the summer, unfortunately. But that's okay, that's just one of the things that happens. We all know it's seasonal. So you just have to try to keep some finances and funds aside to take you through the lean periods so that you can blossom again in the autumn.
Excellent, and with excellent, and with experience as well, you start to learn about that, don't you?
Yeah,
Predict.
I mean, we kind of, you know it.
Yeah.
Like you kind of academically you know it, but you don't know it until you've gone through it, and then you go, oh, okay, it's like that. And so you just have to weather the storm as much as you possibly can. But in a way, I'm that busy through the autumn and winter time, barring bad weather, etc.
Yep.
I'm kind of quite glad for the rest.
Yeah, I can understand that, yeah. And I was reading this weekend how dancing is one of the best forms of physical exercise, seemingly.
It really
particularly,
can be,
shall we say, for the more mature members of society. Is there such a thing for you as a typical customer, and why do they start dancing?
Oh, our typical customer tends to be someone or a couple who are usually hitting over 45. They might have danced, especially the ladies, they may have danced as children themselves, and then life happened to them, they had children themselves, they've grown up, they've looked after their family. And at that point then, the children suddenly leave home. And I think that leaves a gap for people. And all of a sudden, where overnight they would be taking the children here, there or everywhere, suddenly the bathroom's free and they've got time on their hands. And it's a brilliant opportunity at that point for them to, I think many people do, they sort of, what are we going to do? What are we going to do that we can do together that is going to be something that we can both participate in equally and have fun with? And ballroom really does seem to fill that gap. It's such a social pastime. You meet so many different lovely people who are all in the same boat. We've got people in our studio now who met on our lessons.
Really?
And there are groups of people now who go to places together. They go to each other's houses. We've got a couple of people at the moment on cruises with each other. They would never have known each other had they not started ballroom dancing. So the social aspect of it is fantastic. The exercise aspect of it is also fantastic. When you dance, as you probably know now, you have to engage a lot of your brain. You're not just learning steps, that's hard enough in itself, but you're also listening to music at the same time. And anybody who plays music for a pastime will tell you, your brain lights up like a Christmas tree when you are involved in music. It's something that the whole brain has to get involved in. So you're doing that, you're remembering your steps and your choreography. You've also got someone attached to you, usually like a limpet, and you've got to try to negotiate the dance with that person in front of you. It's hard mental work, but actually it's so rewarding in the sense that when you're doing that, you can't think about work. You can't think about your other little bits and pieces that you might have going on in your life. You're coming to forget about that.
Exactly, it is about complete focus.
Yes, you're having fun, you're learning something, you're in a daft environment, it doesn't matter if you get it wrong, and no one's looking at you.
And it's something that anybody can do as well, and because you deal with you have classes for beginners,
Yeah,
through
all levels we
intermediates,
teach.
advanced. People
Yeah.
can progress through, can't they?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, they do. And
anybody
our
that-
programme is something that we're particularly proud of. Myself and my dance partner, Joe, who comes and helps me in the classes. About three years or so ago, we got together and we devised a beginner's programme that takes people from complete ground zero, knowing nothing, up to gold level and beyond, in a series of very structured, very well thought out series of steps and patterns. It's based on the IDTA syllabus, but we have been implementing that now since 2015, and it seems to be going very, very well. People are appreciating the structure of it. They know where they are in it. They know what's coming next.
Yeah.
So
there is something for everybody.
there is
within
always
that.
something for everybody in dancing, yeah.
Let's chat about Strictly then now. How realistic is it compared to what you and your colleagues teach? Because when I've occasionally watched the show, I struggle to recognise any of the dance steps are there. But to be fair, that's no different to when I'm trying to dance, I suppose. But
yeah, good question. Strictly is an entertainment show. Yes, it's a dance competition, but it has to entertain. And if all people who were tuning in to watch that saw was very, very basic syllabus steps, they'd soon pretty much go, well, actually, well, that wasn't very entertaining, was it? So you are seeing basic steps in there, quite a lot of them really, but heavily disguised by the professionals who are jazzing them up, you might say, putting in little bits and pieces that make it more interesting, make it a little bit more fun, lifts and things. We don't do that for, obviously for safe and health and safety purposes.
With no swimming pool to start
yes,
people
exactly.
off
No swimming pools to
demonstrating
crash landing. So yes, there are lots and lots of basic steps. Because if you look at the dance content and not the flourishy bits, you will see your basic feather steps or your New Yorker, as you might know it, or a basic quick step. You'll see it. It is there, highly disguised, but it is definitely there.
Excellent. Okay, thank you ever so much, Anne, for joining us today, and hope that inspires more people to put on their dancing shows, no matter what their ability.
I'm sure it will.
And we'll look forward to seeing you all next time here on the business programme on Kirklees Local TV. Goodbye.